Pre-spawn, 49-degree water. Fish are probably just coming out of their winter haunts right now, trying to get shallow, feed up. That's usually about the same temp the crawdads start coming out, so that's a big forage source for them right now. There's probably some added benefits to them for spawning, I'm sure. Either way, bass are moving shallow, crawdads are coming out of their holes. Just kind of a perfect storm for getting fattened up for spawning. But we are in a gin clear lake, cold, but pretty coverless. There's very little grass in the lake. Most of the rocks pretty deep. So if a fish on this lake wants to get shallow, he doesn't have a whole lot of options. It's either gonna be boat docks like this or wood like that as far as getting around cover goes. In which, you know, they're pulling up. They will be, you know, it's early pre-spawn. There won't be a fish spawning here for probably at least 2 weeks on this particular lake. Maybe even longer. So they're just getting around cover. A lot of these docks are full of bluegills too. Those have made the push shallow. The crappies still seem to be out deep. So yeah, we're just banging around up shallow fishing. Wood seems to be the deal. Even with the docks, like they're half and half wood and metal. It seems like the wood docks are kind of the deal. I think it holds a little bit of heat. And like I said, this is a fairly coverless lake, especially for how clear it is, you know. A fish in dirty water is pretty comfortable sitting on pretty minimal cover, a little stick, a small rock, something like that. But a clear water fish, he can't hide near as well, so he's gonna have to get around some notable cover, and they don't have a lot of options here. Like I said, boat docks and trees. So we're just gonna crank the trolling motor up and run a bunch of boat docks and trees. Everything we come across, we're gonna put a little brown jig in front of. I don't like a lot of flash or bright colors in this place because the water's so clear. I mean, some kind of watermelon, green, pumpkin. I got a little orange in there, but it's pretty muted, you know. It's not real bright, which is what you want in this real clear water. The crawdads and bluegills will look the same too. They're pretty much just brown. Pretty compact. I do got a decent sized chunk on there. It's a Z-Man BatwingZ. It's a no action chunk, you know. When that thing falls, those legs just hang like that and go down. In this cold water, you don't want something like, you know, some of your other cross style trailers that kick a lot. You just want nice, smooth, mellow action. And the thing with this trailer, it's got a nice flat spot on the bottom. Allows it to skip really well. And then when it does hit the bottom, those appendages float up. So it really gives off big time crawdaddy vibes, and seems to work. It's just kind of like anything else in fishing. It's a numbers game. I mean, there are definitely magical docks, but I mean, there's fish kind of just coming to the bank from everywhere. They're just gonna find the first piece of cover they can get on and hide around it and eat all the bluegills and crawdads they can and just get ready for the spawn. Pretty basic deal. It's just, God, kill somebody. It's just a cover and water deal. Like I said, there are some magical docks, and there's definitely a pattern to the docks as well, and the wood's pretty random, so I mean, you're just gonna come across it wherever you do. But my game plan today is just cover as much water as I can and put my jig around as much wood as I can. And that's pretty much it. I don't do a whole lot of thinking or trying to figure stuff out. If I was on a larger lake, I'd probably try to pattern fish a little bit more, but this one's pretty manageable. So yeah, I'm just gonna drop trolling motor down, put her on high, and throw a brown jig at every piece of wood I see. It definitely seems like they're on like the deeper ones, but that's pretty natural for, you know, when fish are just starting to pull up. They're working their way shallow, you know. Seems like at this point, most of the docks we've had bites on. I don't know exactly how deep my jig is, but when I'm sitting out in front of it, my boat's been in 5+ feet of water, where, you know, if we were further along and the water temp was, you know, mid 50s or in that ballpark, you'd probably see it. You'd probably have more luck on, you know, the docks are in 2-3 feet of water versus the deeper ones. But one nice part is with the clear water docks, you can cover water really quick. I mean, At this point in the stage in the game, most of my bites are coming out at the end of the docks. If they were on the walkways, you'd probably have to pick it apart a little bit harder or off the lifts. But with that, in this lake we're in, with how clear the water is right now, I'm not going to make a lot of casts under a platform. These docks are fairly small. You know, most of them are 1-shot, maybe 2-shot docks. But with that clear water, if there's a fish under that dock, he can see my bait fall under there. That's not that big of an area. And if he wants to get it, he will. And if he doesn't, he's not going to eat it regardless. So, I mean, I am fishing my bait on the bottom a little slower just because the water is cold. But as far as casts go and covering water, I'm not going to, you know, make 5, 6 pitches under a dock like that. It's so small. I'll just take 1 shot in the middle of it. Now, if we were fishing dirtier water docks, then, you know, obviously the fish can't see as well. And I think you're going to have to get it a lot closer to them to get them to eat it. So that would be where, you know, if you get in a situation like that, then you'd want to pick apart every post on the dock or every little intricacy of the dock and put a jig on it. But in water this clear and docks these small, it's pretty much just 1, 2 shots under the middle of the dock for me and on to the next one. Pretty in that clear water. Not a big one. Pretty good. You can crack them 9 feet down and see him roll on his side when you hit him. Might have something here. Wow, they're just mean. God, look how fat he is. Pretty one. Come here. That thing round, dude. Like a bluegill. Not a super giant, but a nice one. He's built right. They're mean right now. Like every one of them pulls. Just a thick, that's probably just a male. Just a super fat male. Not much length, but he is thick, boy. Rod reel setup, there's a few options you can go with. I like braid to a leader. That's how I roll. You can go throw straight fluoro if you're in water dirty enough, straight braid. But for me personally, it's a 40-pound braid and a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader pretty much for all my flipping and pitching. I will go to 25 occasionally if they get in some really thick, nasty stuff. But I rarely go less than 20. I think when you're flipping and pitching around cover, you can get away with heavy line. And this particular rod, this is my new flipping stick. I kind of designed it for fishing braid to a leader. I mean, not a punching rod by any means, but in your 1/8 ounce to 3/4 ounce stuff. This particular one's 7.2. It's a good length for me. Everybody's going to be different depending on how tall you are. But as far as dock fishing goes, I do not like a long rod. This is as long as I'd want one, especially if you get on some dirty docks or get tight in like these marinas and stuff. The long rod's not doing you any good. It's just hurting you. And I still have enough length where if I'm fishing clear docks that I got to stay off a little further, I can make a nice long skip with it, but short enough that I can get in tight and dob around in heavy cover. Reel 8 to 5. I like a high-speed reel. Get the bait back to the boat quicker, pick up slack on them a lot. A lot of these fish, they'll get your bait and move quite a ways real quick. You know, a lot of them will swim out 5 feet from the dock on these deeper docks before you hit them. So pretty basic setup, but yeah, I mean, it's a 7.2, medium heavy. It's got a little bit more moderate action to it and still has a nice soft tip, which the soft tip's key for skipping and flipping around. But anytime you're using braid, whether it's straight braid or braid to a leader, I like a more moderate rod. I think it keeps you from tearing stuff and breaking lines. I think it's nice to have a little cushion because you have none in your line. So having a little bit moderate action for any kind of braid application, whether it's straight braid or braid to a leader, I think it's a big deal. But full piece cork, I like that. Doesn't tear your sides up when you're setting the hook a lot, which we're not doing today, but every once in a while you get on them real good and catch 50 or 100, and those split grips kind of tear me up when I catch a bunch. Start bleeding out the side and I like the full grip for a flipping ride. You can get it tight in your body and just hit them and not have to worry about tearing anything up. We made a move to a little bit dingier water, a little bit further up this lake. Still kind of running the same pattern though, fishing deeper wood docks. With the watercolor change here, I'm gonna start picking these apart a lot. It's gonna slow me down quite a bit. I'm not gonna be able to make a skip or two under a dock and keep it moving. I'm gonna have to start fishing each target individually and, you know, make a pitch to every post in here. There's a lot. This is gonna take a lot longer than those clear water docks where I could, you know, make 1 or 2 skips under the dock and keep moving. I'm still fishing my jig about the same pace. The water is a little warmer. We're almost 52 here. Biggin, 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 dude. Look at him. Look how fat that thing is, dude. Come here. Come here. Yeah. Oh, we're crashing. Oh, look at him. Prespawn dock. Look how thick he is in the tail. I think he ain't but maybe 20 inches long. An absolute tank. Little brown jig. Look at that specimen. Just thick all over. That one's probably female. That is as pretty as they come. Little tiny mouth on him. Look, he's got the mouth of a 3-pounder. I think it's 5 pounds all day. All right. Get her back.